Okay, now how do we know if an equation is a function? Well, what we want to do is always solve for y, and then to check that for each value of x, there's only one and only one value of y that corresponds to it. In this case, the variable x is called the independent variable because it can be assigned to any value in the domain. And then once you've assigned that value, the variable y is called the dependent variable because it depends on your choice of x. So let's do two examples. We're asked to determine whether the function or whether each equation defines y as a function of x or not. So in the first example, what we want to do is we want to solve for y. So you would subtract x squared from both sides, and you get that y equals 25 minus x squared. And now the question is for each x, is there one and only one value of y? And so in this case, yes, because we've solved for y, and we know that if you plug in any value like x equals 1, you'll get that y has to be 25 minus 1. So for each value of x, you're getting one value of y. On the other hand, if we look at example 2, we would want to take the square root of both sides when solving for y. And so when you take the square root of both sides, you're going to have plus or minus on the square root of 4x. We have y equals plus or minus the square root of 4x, which I guess you could write as plus or minus 2 times the square root of x. And so now here it's not a function. And the reason for that is if you plug in any non-zero x value, you're going to get that y is equal to plus or minus 2 times the square root of x. So like if you plug in 1, you get that by plugging in x equals 1, you get that y is positive 2 and negative 2. And that can't happen for a function. So this equation does not describe y as a function of x. Another way to look at this is that we're saying that 1, 2 and 1, negative 2 are elements in the relation defined by this function, or defined by this equation. So it's not a function. Another way to put that is that one input has more than two outputs. So to show something is not a function, it suffices just to give one example of an input that has more than one output.